Hello wonderful people, and welcome back to another video on the Team Pancakes TCG YouTube channel. Today I'm bringing you a deck that I actually ran at a local league challenge and got first place in out of about 16 people. It wasn't huge, but it was my first tournament back after a while. And so I really did enjoy playing that deck at this tournament. And so this deck is Entei Iron Valiant. It really popped off after regionals and really just got a good showing that allowed people to see really the true power behind it. Before that regionals, I had been looking around and saw this deck, and I didn't really understand. But this duo is the weird, wacky duo that works together somehow. Through this list, this is the exact list that I believe got second at the regionals. If you can take notice of the 12 different switching cards in it. A lot of decks you'll see run switch or switch cards, and it's normally about 2. Here we're running 4 switches, 4 switch cards, 4 escape ropes, and it's really because Iron Valiant is just super needed of that, or super needing of that pivot. So for those of you that don't know, Iron Valiant EX has an ability that every time that once per turn, when it's promoted from the bench to the active spot during your own turn, you get to put 2 damage counters on any one of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, that may not seem like a lot, 2 damage counters. We're talking about a Pokemon's doing 2 damage counters for its ability when promoted, when that Pokemon itself has over 200. And so, it may not seem like a lot, but you have to remember that we're in the era of EXs. Charizard EX is huge right now, as well as just other smaller, less well-known EXs are getting used. As well as you do that 2 damage counters, and then Entei, which does a max of 220, now is hitting the 240 number, which knocks out Iron Hands EX or things like that. As well as having the ability to survive. Entei itself is having the ability to survive Roaring Moon, second attack, which does a max of 220 without any status effects. Miraidon can't one-shot Entei. And because you're running Entei, you're now running Fire Energy, which gives you the Radiant Charizard, which is just such a wonderful single prize attacker during that late game. You get to most likely take 2 prize cards with them just taking 1 from your own guy. I'd also like to take note of there being 1 Medicham V. For those of you that don't know what Medicham V does, it has for 2 of any energy an attack called Yoga Loop, which does 2 damage counters on any one of your opponent's Pokemon, and if that Pokemon was knocked out from that attack, from Yoga Loop, you get to do your turn again. But you can't use Yoga Loop multiple turns in a row. But just being able to put 2 damage counters on, let's say, a Charmander early game, getting me able to maybe make those numbers a little better early game for yourself, as well as making it so your opponent struggles a little more with setup, is just wonderful. And because it's damage counters and not damage, Yoga Loop doesn't get affected by running double turbo, which is just another great thing that we can run in this deck to just use Medicham instantly. You can use it your turn 1 going second and take some KOs. I did at the tournament I went to. Now, some things to note: when I was at the tournament, I was missing the Radiant Charizard. I didn't have it yet. So I actually took that out and put in a Fire Energy. And it ran just as smoothly. It was a little harder of a matchup because late game I wasn't able to rely on that Radiant Charizard. But the deck runs without it. So if you don't have Radiant Charizard for any reasons back home, like you don't have it in the in the physical copy of it, don't fret it. The deck runs great without it, and honestly, I'd play the deck again without it, even now that I have the Radiant Charizard. So yeah, let's hop into some matches, and you'll really get to see what this deck can accomplish both early game and late game. Okay, we're hopping right into it. So, with the coin flip, when I play this deck, I like going second, which is nice because most of your opponents will like to go first. And the reason I choose to go second with this deck particularly is because the use of supporters and being able to attack turn 1, which you can with this deck. Unfortunately, actually, I'm saying that as my opponent chooses for me to go first. But through through supporter use, as well as the ability to attack turn 1 with either Entei or Medicham if you get that double turbo, is so strong. Okay. So we're opening up with Iron Valiant. We top decked the Battle VIP, which is great. I am going to pick, looking at my hand, I think I'm going to go Iron Valiant and an Entei. I'm going to attach and I think we're going to hold it there. And the reason I'm not doing anything fancy using the Force Shield and maybe get Squawk or Switch Cart into the other one is because Cloth gets one shot with Entei in pretty much any scenario. And it's going to be really hard to get that damage up there where I can either Yoga Loop it. So we might want to wait to see if they play any lower HP Pokemon, or if there's a Pokemon where that damage could be better put, to maybe allow for some different knockouts later game, or to take multiple prize cards from multiple Pokemon in one turn. So we'll find out. Town Store is actually super useful for us as well because we can search out our future booster energy, which does give Iron Valiant the ability to free retreat. Okay. So he played Hisuian Electrode, which I think is an interesting play. It is weak to Entei, which means he doesn't even have to have a max bench for me to be able to knock it out and take those 2 price cards. Which is something that Cloth is really fighting for, the ability to just sit back and chill out and take knockouts for 2 prizes when I can only take 1. Okay, so we do see it for only 170, but it's going to go down to 140 once I switch cart. Okay, he does get tail, so he will be taking more chip damage. Okay, that's not a bad one. I will Nest Ball for another Iron Valiant. Because, yeah. I could have gotten another Entei or a Medicham or something, but I really, like I said earlier, don't feel like Medicham will play a huge role in this game. Okay. Switch cart. Heal 30. Be able to do a little more of chips. In this scenario, I will put on Cloth, because like I said earlier, I pretty much will be able to one-shot Hisuian Electrode no matter where it is on the game, or in the game. No matter what point, no matter the point in the game, I'll most likely be able to knock out Hisuian Electrode. I'm going to research away that fire energy. I'm going to get lucky by getting another, but I was also thinking Magma Basin if I really wanted to. So I'm thinking we'll retreat once again into this Iron Valiant. Tachyon bits once again to this active one. We're going to attach here. We're going to switch cart into the final one. So he'll have 80 damage on, which means he'll only need 4 more damage counters to knock him out after this. And I'm going to use our Star Alchemy to actually get Escape Rope, so I can knock out that Hisuian and get 2 early price cards. And keeping that Cloth with the damage on it where it is. We're going to Fleet Foot. Okay, VIP, not that useful to me. But I will not be playing the Radiant Charizard since we have the knockout. And I want to keep that 1 bench space open for any reason I decide later on that Medicham will be the best route. Okay, that's nice. I'm glad we got Colress off the prizes because we're not having the best supporter use next turn. He gets Ancient Booster Nest, so we most likely will be seeing a Brute Bonnet this turn, which is nice for us because he'll do a little more damage. It wasn't necessary. Yeah, we don't need that extra damage on him because at this point we can Iron Valiant twice and get the knockout. We do have Magma Basin. I will Town Store first. Get a heart. Well, Heart Charm doesn't really play with this game, so we'll get the Future Booster and attach it to the other Iron Valiant with no damage on it. We're gonna Colress first. Escape Rope, Switch, Jet Energy. I think I want all of those. Yes. Because we do have game this turn with that. Love Magma Basin. At least I'm pretty sure we have game. Yeah, we most definitely do. Even without the jet, actually. I wasn't thinking, but we don't even need the jet in this scenario. Because we have Free Retreat. We'll be able to get KO, and there you go, our opponent concedes. So yeah, that's the first game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna hop right into the next one once I find it. Okay, we found our next match, and our opponent's flipping the coin, so we'll see what happens in terms of who's going first or second. But it looks like we're probably playing a Charizard deck, judging by his coin, but we'll find out later on that first turn. Okay, my opponent does choose to go first, and wow, this is a hand. So I think I'll open up with Entei just because we'll get that fleet-footed power. And we'll see where it goes. Yeah, so we are playing Charizard, so early game Medicham will actually be really nice for this because it will allow us to hopefully get 2 prize cards before they can even evolve any of their Pokemon. Okay. This is, so far it's looking like a nice thing. And he starts out with Pidgeot V. Okay. Plays the Ultra Ball. So it's looking like on my turn 1, we'll probably get Squawk with Nest Ball if it's in the hand or in the deck, because our hand is rather dead without having any supporter or draw for the turn. But we'll find out once time comes, I guess. He gets Mew, so he's probably going to go for a Battle VIP, trying to find that. We'll see if he gets lucky enough for it. But that's great. That's going to be forever on the board pretty much. So we'll be able to Medicham, Yoga Loop that probably at any point we deem. As well as the fact that it looks like he may not be getting another basic out on the field since he failed that Mysterious Tail. Okay, so yeah. So if we were able to Yoga Loop, that would be really nice. So let's find out if it's even in the deck. Squawkabilly is in the deck. That's great news. So we're going to do this, this, that, future booster. And I'm thinking I'll hold off on playing the other Entei. I know we don't have any way to get it back that I remember, but I don't think it's super necessary. Okay. So that's one less. So I'm thinking, I don't think, do I want anything else in the, I think I'll want another Iron Valiant. Oh, and there you go. Our opponent actually concedes that game. Okay, so that was a little short of a game. The situation was not the best for my opponent. So hopefully our next game, and most likely final game, will be a little better. So, okay, so we found another one. We're waiting on our opponent and the coin to flip to figure out who's going first. But yeah, we'll see where this one goes. This is a pretty interesting. I actually wasn't paying attention when it said who was going first, so it's a little annoying. I wish live had a way to, like a counter or marker that told you who went first. Okay, we're going against Dialga, which is a great matchup for us due to the ability to just one-shot them due to weakness. But you don't see many Dialgas on the ladder. Okay. Depending on how it goes, we might even be able to knock out their Magneton and a Dialga. So they really did fill up their bench. Yeah, I'm thinking we'll have that capability. Let's Fleetfoot, see if I can get the VIP off of this. I can't. Let's Colress. A Squawk, Escape Rope, Nest Ball. All great cards. I think. So we might have the ability to use Medicham to knock out that Magneton. I'm not going to just devote some time to it. I think it's safer to get your Valiant set up and start getting momentum out there. Now my opponent most likely will promote the Miraidon, but we'll find out shortly. Yeah, he does. So unfortunately, because he didn't bench that 5th Pokemon, I won't be able to knock it out with Entei unless I put 20 damage counters on it, which I'm going to try and avoid. Let's start Alchemy now. We're gonna get the future booster. The main reason I wanted to do that first was because this was going to go in the discard anyway. And it's just nice having that tool capability on the Pokemon. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna go Iron Valiant. Going to Retreat. Freely, of course. 20 on Magneton. Then use Switch Cart. Put 20 on that Magneton again to knock it out. Which really shuts down this deck and its capabilities as long as we can keep doing that every turn. Okay, we're gonna see if it's escape. If this is an escape rope, that'd be wonderful. It is not. All good. We'll then use the jet energy to promote this boy himself. So interesting enough, I don't got the KO on Rotom V either. But it's all good. So we're doing 180, which means we'll need to put 40 damage counters on him to knock him out with Iron Valiant, or 4 damage counters to knock him out with Iron Valiant, which is possible. I have a Switch Cart as well as Future Booster. The only thing is I don't have a pivot into my next option. So if I get a second switch, that'd be great. Just gonna do that. I'm still KOing him because I'll do, even when I knock out this Miraidon, I'll still take the knockout on a Dialga V-Star because I'll be doing, I believe, 320. But he's actually going to be adding to that a little bit, so it will be a little different. Okay. So in this scenario, I think we do want to just keep knocking out the Magnetons. If they can't get that up, they can't ever really set up the momentum on the Dialga. I am surprised a little bit that he didn't go for a second Magneton. Maybe he doesn't have one, maybe it's prized, but considering that I just was able to knock out that Magneton last turn, I was kind of expecting him to go for 3. Okay, interesting. That actually doesn't affect us that much. If anything, it gives us the ability to get 2 fleet-footed in during this next turn. So we already had the Switch Cart. The only thing it didn't do... Okay. Let's think. We're going to Colress first because... Yeah, okay, this is actually really good. I think we'll take these 3. Let's see what he promotes. I have a feeling he'll promote the Magneton, but if he does promote the Magneton, then I'll just knock out the Miraidon with Iron Valiant, and then Entei V knock out the Magneton. But he's not. He will be promoting Rotom V instead. Which... I have 5. I'm not knocking it out, but the Iron Valiants will be able to take out or clean up prize cards come my following turn. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a concede from my opponent as well. And another Switch Cart. So we actually will use a Switch instead of the Switch Cart. And next turn, as long as I don't get Iono'd out of this hand in some way, we do have the game. Yeah, because I'll just Iron Valiant the Rotom V, and I'll just knock out the Dialga or the Miraidon because I have Boss in hand. Okay, most likely going for the other Entei. Nope. He did make the right play and do Squawkabilly this turn. I guess last turn he did it because he thought I may not have the energy attachment to get him out of there. But when you're playing against Iron Valiant, you have to understand that they are most definitely playing 12 switching cards. But that is game still. I switch cart into Iron Valiant, put 2 damage counters on the Rotom V. And I believe I have the knockout with Entei no matter what they promote. But I have Boss in hand anyway for that Miraidon. And I got another switch card, so. Yeah. I'm doing 160 times 2. That is the knockout. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just killing them. Yeah, 320 for the knockout, and that's game. So that will be the last game I'm showing for tonight's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, as well as everything good that came from it. But yeah, that's Iron Valiant. It's a great deck. I love it so much. I enjoy playing it. It's a fun deck to play while still keeping that competitive edge and style to it. If you have any comments about the deck or things that you'd like me to play in the future, please don't forget to put a comment down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, as I will be posting weekly every Monday at 7 p.m. EST Eastern Standard Time for our standard format specifically. I will also be doing every Friday, starting with the new year. Every Friday we'll have a more of a rogue style deck. So hopefully you guys can start looking forward to that. It will be every Friday, like I was saying earlier. Also 7 Eastern Standard Time. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side.